ITEC 7430 lesson plan screencast. What did I have my students do during this lesson? Students worked in groups to construct a screencast of a topic dealing with the meteorology unit. They had a list of topics they could choose from, and they picked one according to their interest. Students were grouped based on data from the Socrative pretest that was given prior to starting the meteorology unit, and I assigned one high ability, two medium, and then one low ability to each group to have a diversity within each group. Students had a choice. They could create their slides by drawing and uploading digitally. I have a lot of artistic learners within my classroom, so I wanted to address those needs. And they also could create the slides digitally through Flickr Creative Commons, where they could upload their photos that they wanted to use within their screencast. After creating the screencast, students were uploading theirs to YouTube so that they could share their screencast with other 6th grade Earth Science classes. We have 2 other hallways of 6th grade Earth Science, so they were able to utilize this content area within the meteorology unit to watch as they covered each topic within their class. How were they assessed? I had a rubric that went along with their screencast that they were assessed on preparation and preparedness, attractiveness, and then they had other requirements that they had to have within their screencast. They had the content and then their originality. What would I change? I feel that in the future my students will need to be exposed to the Web 2.0 tools prior to the lesson. This was a challenge within the lesson because the students had so many questions about the technology that I was unable to quickly get around to each group and answer the questions. In addition to this, the students were so eager to jump into the screencast that they did not complete the appropriate preparation needed to create a high quality screencast. They were so eager and so excited and so engaged and so wanting to get into the technology aspect of creating the screencast, because this was very new to them, that they wanted to skip through the research and developing the slides needed to create a good screencast. Also, one requirement I would have is I would require the students to use headphones with the microphones during the screencast to cut down on background noise. This was an issue of trying to get the class quiet, so groups were not allowed to work or have conversation while one group was recording their screencast because of the background noise. So I think the microphone would help eliminate some of that background noise to make the screencast more proficient and allow the other groups to continue working even when screencasting recording was going on. Once the students become more exposed to the digital tools, I feel that we can take this to the next level and require more critical thinking lessons to be addressed within the classroom. But just the newness of the Web 2.0 tools were so exciting for them. They just wanted to get into using them and not really using them to benefit the content as I would like to have seen within this lesson. But I think that is something that we're working towards and can definitely improve. I do have a student at sample that was very unique in creativity, and they decided they drew their slides, and I'll let you see here, listen to this.
all of the energy the same? Well, most the energy from the sun travels to Earth in the form of visible light and infrared radiation. A small amount arrives as ultraviolet radiation. Before reaching Earth's surface, sunlight must pass through the atmosphere. Some sunlight is absorbed or reflected by the atmosphere before it can reach the surface. The rest pass through the atmosphere to the surface. Believe it or not, about 25% of incoming sunlight does not reach the Earth's surface. Why is this? Because the sunlight is reflected by clouds, dust, and gases in the air. The clouds act like mirrors, reflecting the sunlight back into space. 20% is absorbed or eaten by gases and particles in the atmosphere. That must be yummy. 5% is reflected by the surface back into the atmosphere. That way we can see our reflections on the ground. Also, about 50% is absorbed by Earth's surface. Because of this, energy heats the land and water. Thank goodness, because I don't think summers would be as fun swimming in freezing cold water. When Earth's surface is heated, it radiates most of the energy back into the atmosphere as infrared radiation. What is infrared radiation, you might ask? Well, in this picture, much of this infrared radiation cannot travel all the way through the atmosphere back into space. Instead, it is absorbed by water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, and other gases in the air. The energy from the absorbed radiation heats the gases in the air. The gases form a blanket around Earth that holds heat in the atmosphere. The process by which gases hold heat in the air is called the greenhouse effect. When it comes to land and water, land heats up faster than water and cools down faster. If you were to travel to the beach in the spring, the land would be warmer and the water would be colder. And if you were to take the same trip in October, the land would be colder and the water would be warmer. See, Johnny, we couldn't sew and do anything without the sun because it gives us light during the day and at night. But that is another lesson in itself. But the sun is so important, it supplies us with all of our energy. Little Johnny said, I don't agree the moon is still important to me. Well, looks like we are fighting a never-ending battle with little Johnny. I hope you see how important the sun really is. We could not survive without the sun, or summers would not be nearly as fun from camping to swimming. The next content is rated PG-13.